Hello, everyone. I am Brady Briggs here for another episode of the Combat Logic. Today, we're going to be talking about UFC, Derek Brunson versus Darren Till. Joining me today is my co-host, Justice St. Pierre. How are you, Justice?
Can't complain, man. Always doing good.
Yes, sir. Awesome. The first fight on the card, we got Jonathan Martinez versus Marcelo Rojo. And you said you didn't know who Marcelo was. You may have seen his meme or like his little highlight reel that was put together, I don't know, maybe a year ago before he came to the UFC. He's the dude that after he knocks his opponents out, he always acts like a raptor.
Oh,
you might know who I'm talking about now.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
So that's a fun fight between two really good strikers. Rojo has a hell of a lot of power. He's got good boxing, and Martinez is just such a slick, well-rounded striker all around. It's going to be a really good prelim opener. Then the next one, we got Dalche Lungiambula and Marc-Andre Barriault. No, Barriault was like the next big Canadian prospect for a while there. I think, let's see, he came to the UFC with an 11-0 record as the TKO light heavyweight and middleweight champion, TKO champ. Then he lost his first 3 fights with the UFC before winning his last 2, both by TKO. And Dalche Lungiambula, he's just an African powerhouse. Dude, he's 5'8". He used to fight at 205. He made his UFC debut at 205. He went 1-1 there, but he dropped down to middleweight in his last fight and beat Marcus Perez. And he's now at Team Quest and has worked on his wrestling quite a bit. We saw that in his last fight. So, do you have any comments on this one?
Yeah, I mean, as far as doing a little research on, I hope I'm saying his name right, Dalche.
Mm-hmm.
That dude looks very intimidating.
I
can't really say I know too much about him. Oh, my daughter's joining me. Come here, kiddo.
It's all good.
Thank you. You need to go back into the living room, though. Alrighty, thank you. Anyways, I've been looking at this Dalche guy, dude, and he is massive. I mean,
yeah, he's so thick.
Benson Barboza, he must be allergic to fat, dude. There is not a lick of it on him. But I do know a little bit about Barriault, and he's definitely, like you said, he was supposed to be a pretty big prospect for Canada. He's definitely not too bad. He has been KO'd in the past, I believe. Pretty sure he has.
Dalche?
Yeah. No, Barriault.
I think he's lost 3 decisions. I was going to say Dalche got knocked out by Magomed Ankalaev. Yeah, he's lost 3 decisions.
Oh, yeah. No, you are correct. Overall, though, it'll be a pretty interesting fight. I think Marc-Andre should just kind of use his distance, being about 6'1". Definitely pick him apart from the outside. And of course, and Dalche's definitely point of attack is probably getting inside the pocket, being aggressive. I can't imagine a guy that size, stature is going to be having the best cardio. So I assume he'd probably try and get it done as early as possible. But a fight I'm looking forward to, especially not knowing much about Dalche. It'll be just someone for me to, find out.
Yeah, man, he's fun to watch. He pulled it together in his last fight, going 3 rounds. He was definitely tired, but he made it happen. Now, next fight, we got a catchweight bout between Charles Jourdain and Julia Erosa. Now, Erosa, for those of y'all that don't know, came to the UFC back in 2015, I think it was. Hang on a second.
Yeah, right around there, roughly.
Yeah, the end of 2015. He won a split decision and then got KO'd in his next fight. He got released. Did pretty well on the regional circuit. Went like 6-2 or 7-2 on the outside. Lost to Paddy Pimblett in one of those fights, who we'll be talking about in a minute. And he returned to the Contender Series to knock out Jamal Emmers, and then took 3 straight defeats in the UFC. 2 of them via KO. So he was now 1-4 in the UFC. Lost his last 4 UFC fights. Well, he replaces somebody, I don't remember who it was, to fight Sean Woodson on short notice, and he chokes him out. And then he follows that up with a flying knee knockout. It's like he finally had his coming out party, but he got knocked out by Seong-Woo Choi in his last fight. And now Charles Jourdain is a really good striker himself. He's also a TKO champ like Barriault is. And I'm really looking forward to this one. This is one of my favorite fights on the whole card.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I believe, Jourdain's actually coming off a knockout win with from Marcelo Rojo himself. So, it's definitely per se carrying that with him, I'm sure, into the next bout, probably looking for another finish, especially with fighters like these. They're always looking to get that finish because of the bonus. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I love the bonus in general. It gives these low paid fighters really good incentive to not only get a knockout, but it makes them more entertaining. It will bring their stock up as well. So I'll probably go with Jourdain on this one just because Julian is too hot and too cold for me. He's wildly
Yeah.
inconsistent. Whereas, there's definitely something there with Charles. Might not be top notch type talent. I mean, he is on the undercard pretty
Yeah.
low, but exactly. It's more of a not yet thing. He's only 25 too,
Yeah, I
so
mean, he's really good.
loads of room for potential growth.
Yeah, next fight we got Jack Shore and Ludovi Shalianan.
Yeah,
I
Ludwig.
butchered that. Yeah, I know it's Ludovic. I don't know what I butchered that. He's fighting Jack Shore, a 14-0, really highly touted prospect. I think he's out of Wales. Yeah, he's Welsh. He's 14-0. He's a former champion. If I could look where he won a belt, Cage Warriors, former Cage Warriors bantamweight champ 2 times. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. With someone with the name Ludovic Shalianan, I have a feeling he's probably a pretty good fighter. It's hard to say just off their name, but fuck you.
It's always the hard to pronounce names you should look
Yeah,
out.
man, they're always beasts. But Jack Shore's a beast too, man. I don't know how this one's gonna go. I think I'd pick Shore, but I don't know how. How do you see it going?
I mean, it would definitely be the safe bet, not just because he's undefeated, but if you look at their performances, I have seen a little bit of Ludwig. He's good, but I definitely think Jack Shore is a lot better. He's already gotten 2 wins inside the UFC. He is still undefeated. And honestly, it's just cool to see just another highly touted prospect in an already really stacked 135 division. I'd probably put it now as the most talented, rich division out there.
Yeah,
I see people can definitely argue for lightweight, but we've also had a lot of teeter tottering there and people retiring, people going up
Khabib's
to 170,
gone,
coming back.
Tony ain't the same, Connor ain't the same, Habib is gone. Fucking, there's so many things. Nate Diaz isn't a lightweight anymore. There's so many.
No, yeah, I agree. But yeah, I'm definitely going with Shore on this one. Not just because it's a safe bet, but just because I hope he keeps winning. Keeping an undefeated record, especially in the bantamweight division, is very good.
So hard.
He's already fought some pretty decent talent too. I mean, his last win was against Hunter Azure. He's definitely really good, a good prospect himself. Aaron Phillips, also really
Aaron
good.
Phillips is a good fighter. He doesn't have a good record in the UFC, but he's got a lot of talent.
No, yeah, they're definitely, they're not necessarily cans, they're not necessarily elite fighters, but they're all good ones,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'll definitely be pulling for Jack in this one and just can't wait to see really what's afterwards if he does win.
How about the preliminary main event between 17-0 amateur boxer Molly McCann, who fights Ji Yeon Kim?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know too much about G. I do know quite a bit about Molly. Looking at G quickly as a quick overview. Oh, wow. Talk about pretty. Wow. I just go with G alone on the fact that she's got 12 inches of reach on Molly. That's, yeah.
Holy shit, dude. She does have a 72-inch reach.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I've never seen a woman with a 72-inch reach, I don't think.
That's like freakishly long.
Even Amanda Nunes,
5'6".
even Amanda Nunes, Chris Cyborg, they're big female fighters. They have 68 and 69-inch reaches.
No, yeah, that's
remarkable.
Looking at her though, it is her debut. Oh wait, no, it's not. She's been around since 2017. Let's see who you face, girl. Give me a minute.
She's gone like 2-2 or 1-2 or something in the UFC, I think.
Let's see. Okay, so she's definitely been growing with the sport. She's facing definitely top-notch competition. Her last bout was a loss against Alexa Grasso, so I do know who this woman is. I have seen her before. Definitely no shame in losing to Alexa for sure. She is a hell of a female fighter. I guess for me, I'm excited for this fight just because there's a lot of unknown for me. Um, I guess I should be pulling for Molly because of her highly touted just talents itself. However, 12 inches of reach is that's
Yeah.
fucking huge.
Now you say that, I think Kim might.
No, yeah, I mean, unless this girl cannot strike worth a damn,
Yeah.
it should
Well,
just stay on the outside.
Kim can also grapple too. McCann is not much of a ground fighter. She's an in the pocket type of boxer, you know.
Oh, I gotcha.
Um, Opening up the main card, like we said, Paddy Pimblett. He's gonna be fighting Luigi Vendramani. Pimblett's a Cage Warriors champ. His last loss is the 15-1 Soren Bach, who should also be in the UFC. Man, I'm so
Agreed.
excited for this because Paddy Pimblett, he fights a lot like Ricky Tucios, as we saw last weekend. He's just nonstop in your face with the pressure. Except I'd say his grappling is a little bit better. Even though Tucios is pretty damn good on the ground, I'd say Pimblett is pretty special there. And he's also got tenacious striking, man. Like he's got a Colby Covington like pace.
No, yeah, everything you said, I completely agree with.
He's so
Patty is,
opportunistic too.
yeah, no, he'll take anything that's basically presented in front of him as an opportunity. As far as Patty goes, a lot of hype behind him, and I can definitely see where it comes from between the flying triangle, the very slick knockouts. I already like kind of how he's presenting himself too. He's really he's saying crazy things that might not be true, but it gets your attention, saying like he could smoke Conor McGregor and shit like that.
Honestly, he might be Conor now because he can grapple.
Very true. But I love kids like that. I love it when, they come out and say these, particularly crazy things because one day it could come to fruition basically. And Paddy could be that type of guy. He's already denied 2 UFC contracts. And from what I've seen or heard, it's mostly because he just wanted to continue to grow. And you don't get that a lot of the time. And again, it's that confidence of knowing that, you got to be supremely confident if you can say no to Dana twice and then know that you're still going to get a shot when you're ready.
Right.
And Paddy thinks he's ready. I believe his opponent is coming off a loss, but he's also gotten some very fast knockouts. His first win in the UFC, I believe, was actually a first round KO.
Yeah, and he's coming off a loss to Fares Ziam, who's a pro kickboxer.
Yeah, no shame in that.
No.
So as far as Luigi goes, he could, particularly get the upset. I wonder what the spread is.
He definitely could, for sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if Paddy's like a 350 type plus negative type favorite, honestly.
I would be
maybe a fight worth putting a little money into.
Yeah, I'm more high on Paddy's future than I am for him in this fight because you just never know how someone's going to perform in their UFC debut. Some of them it doesn't get to them, some of them it does. I've noticed with European talents, it doesn't get to them quite as much.
And that's also a good reason is because the organization he is still highly touted. Well, he was, I should say, the UFC fighter now. And them British guys, Scottish guys, Irish guys, they all have a very cockiness to them. I mean, Conor is very cocky. Michael Bisping is very cocky. Darren Till, hilariously cocky. So it's just that type of aurora they seem to carry around with them. And I mean, as long as he gets through this fight pretty convincingly, I don't even know where to go with Paddy as far as being double champ and
depends on how he looks.
Organization. Do you give him some more per se mid-levels, or do you just jump him straight up into maybe a ranked numbered fighter?
Yeah, it depends on how he looks.
Oh yeah, it is the lightweight division. What I would probably consider still the second most stacked, or maybe the third.
I want to see him win or lose. I want to see him fight Mason Jones, another Cage Warriors champ. But honestly, has a lot of the skills he does, but he's also got a lot of his own skills. And he's gone 0-1 and a no contest since he came over to the UFC, when really both of those should have been wins. I'd like to see that. That would be a good fight.
Yeah, no complaints here on that.
What about Modestas Bukauskas versus Khalil Rountree? Now, Man, if Khalil would just keep that Muay Thai style he had in that Eric Anders fight, and his, mentality up here was solid, he'd be so fucking hard to beat. But since that performance, he's gone 0-2. And Bukauskas, there's a couple Bukauskases that have a lot of hype behind them. But Modestas has gone 0-2 after winning his UFC debut. How do you see this one going?
I believe Khalil said this will be his last fight.
He said that a lot before, so yeah, it could be.
Yeah, so it's also another thing to kind of you don't really know. I think Khalil. I've loved Khalil since his tough days. He was terrifying on that show.
Yeah, such a
especially
prospect.
with his the badass mustache he used to have. But now, I mean, if this really is Khalil's last fight, I just hope he really brings it and brings it all.
Me too.
I thought this guy was potential champ material at one
I think
point.
a lot of us did.
No, just with that power, dude. He's very good on the feet. Even back in his tough days, he had a lot going for him. But he's also kind of had his mind like halfway out the door, it seems, for a while now. And like with Gustafsson, it just shows that you really need to be 1,000% invested into the sport if you want to continue to win. Because there's 100 other people that are, and if you aren't, it's going to eventually come to fruition and show. But I'm pulling for Khalil. I've always liked Khalil. Modestas is, I won't call him bad. I consider it a perfect fight for Khalil, not because it's necessarily guaranteed and a guaranteed win, but it's time to not give him highly touted prospects or ranked people because he's just not there anymore. So a good fight. I love the matchup itself. And I definitely think it'll come with a finish either from either or fighter. Khalil's definitely not a guy that's really good when it comes to going the distance, it seems.
Or pulling through.
Passes out. But I just hope he comes out hard, and I hope he gets the win for sure, especially if it really is his last fight.
What about our feature fight between Alex Morono and David Zawada? Now, it's David Zawada. Well, both Zawadas were very highly touted. His brother still isn't in the UFC yet. But and Alex Morono has, I think he's coming off a knockout win over Donald Cerrone, which doesn't say much right now, but it's still, he also beat Reese McKee. Had a close fight with Anthony Pettis. Hey, he's a good fighter.
I mean, it's really tough because, like you said, Donald's one of my all-time favorites. Beating him nowadays, watching Alex in there and watching him fight and actually just seeing him beat Donald really just shows Donald needs to get the hell out of here, dude. Fan favorite or not, good business partner with the UFC or not, his health is at this point on the line. But I guess how I see this going is, even though Zawada hasn't had the best luck in the UFC yet, I still think it's also because he's, faced some pretty damn good grapplers. His first fight was Nurmagomedov, not Khabib, but another Nurmagomedov. And then Ramazan, dude, like, it's some pretty tough fights to really take on, especially in your first 1 and 2. I think Alex Morono is more of his pace as far as, who he should be fighting in the UFC right now to build up on that talent and confidence. I see David taking it, but, Alex has also faced some pretty damn good people already, like Donald Cerrone and Pettis. So it'll really just come down to not necessarily who wants it more, but which one has the better game plan for it. And I definitely see a nice striking, just affair in general.
Yeah, me too.
So highly entertaining fight, I think, is what we're going to be seeing.
What about our co-main event between Tom Aspinall and Sergey Spivak? Now, Aspinall is now 10-2. Sorry, he's 3-0 in the UFC with 3 finishes, and Spivak is 13-2. He's 4-2 in the UFC with 2 finishes. Aspinall has all sorts of hype around him right now. He is so good. He's so technical. He's so quick. He's got such great striking. Spivak is a decent striker too, but he's got the grappling. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, I mean, Spivak does have really good grappling, and Tom's definitely got some hype behind him. Both are incredibly young. Um, honestly, I gotta go Tom. The dude
Me too.
is kind of part of that new age where like Gain, Aspinall. There's another guy too. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But these heavyweights are starting to move like middleweights.
Yeah, man, I love it.
No, me too. I'm getting really tired of the whole flat-footed, miss 50 strikes and land finally one good one when both of you
Yeah.
were just gassed out.
Like if you don't get a knockout, it's the most boring fight ever.
Yeah, basically. I mean, God, what's the most boring fight in the UFC probably heavyweight history is Francis and Derek Lewis. And I mean,
Oh yeah,
that says something,
I was
man.
gonna say Frank Mir and Mirko Krokop, even though that ended in a knockout, but yeah. And Ngannou and Francis.
I mean, I still, I'm still mad about that fight. We should have gotten violence. We got nothing.
Real, man.
But I'm going Aspinall. I think he's just that new age of heavyweights, whereas Spivak is kind of, while he's a new or heavyweight fighter, he kind of replicates the old types of heavyweights and fighting guys like Aspinall, who, like I said, are just that new age. People are going to start really figuring out that you got to be athletic now to be a heavyweight. You know,
Yeah.
I've always said too, where I think once pay gets better, the heavyweight division will completely reshape itself. Because just think for a minute, like I don't know if you follow football, but people like J.J. Watt, Rob Gronkowski, what the hell is his name? Aaron Donald. These are men that athletically make any heavyweight look so inferior. But why would they ever fucking come here when they can make, 60 million in 5 years?
Exactly.
So,
I get what
I
you
was
mean by the pay structure now. That makes a lot of sense.
no, yeah. So I think once, pay gets a lot better, which I'm hoping it does within the next 5 years. I think I remember hearing Dana say something that he's paying so low because he's just trying to recover from the ESPN deal, which makes no fucking sense to
No,
me.
it doesn't.
I
know they got more coverage on ESPN than they did any other source.
So and they get their guaranteed money no matter how the numbers do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? If anything, now's the time to start paying good. But I hope Dana could realize maybe that will lead to more money for him.
Yeah.
If we could get someone like Aaron fucking Donald into the UFC, someone, and these people would.
Well, we got Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a grown game.
I was about to say Hardy's wasn't really that great in football.
He's just a good athlete.
Oh no, absolutely.
I think he's just too big. Honestly, he's too bulky.
I don't know what it is about Hardy, but I'm honestly just glad he's not successful. I hate domestic violence. And watching Tai Tuivasa knock his clock off.
That was a terrible fight for him. I don't even know why the fucking UFC gave him that fight. Like, obviously they want to grow Greg and they gave him that fight. It's such a terrible idea.
No, yeah. I think everyone thought Tuivasa kind of had his foot out the door, but that dude he's like Mark, man. He can fucking bang any
He might have lost 3 straight at one point, but dude, he wasn't even training. He only started training like a year ago or a year and a half ago, and he was already that good. Just think of that. But
for sure.
Let's get to this main event because I am late for work. Darren Till versus Derek Brunson. How do you see it going down?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm the dark horse in this one. I see Derek Brunson getting the win.
Wow.
Mostly because he's a guy you had mentioned earlier in the group chat. He definitely telegraphs his takedowns. Highly calling it nicely unorthodox striking, but he's got a good pressure and great pace.
He has good striking for unorthodox striking.
No, absolutely. And, I think he can definitely outpace Till. All he has to do really is get in Till's grill. Nice little rhyme for you. If he can get a takedown within like the first 3 minutes, I think it'll really help dictate the rest of the fight.
Yeah,
because it will start to take away a little bit of Till's confidence. And I don't think Till's overrated, but I definitely don't think he has the best ground game out there.
No, he doesn't.
It's basically the last fighter that Woodley looked unfucking beatable against.
Yeah, and that's because Darren didn't live up to the moment and with all the pressure. Like, he threw 6 strikes that fight. Look at Tyron's 2 fights before that. He looked awful. Like, Tyron's decline was already starting. Like, Darren could have won that fight if he would have fought that fight like he fought Donald Cerrone, or if he fought like he fought Wonder Boy, but he didn't. But
No, absolutely.
I think that, yeah, like I said earlier, and you just mentioned, Derek telegraphs his takedowns, but not only that, he leaves his chin straight up when he's striking. And if anybody can find your chin at 185, it's either going to be Israel or it's going to be Darren or maybe Rob Whitaker. But dude, those guys can find your chin like no other. And Darren has like 5 combos, 5 things that he does all the time, but they always work for him, or they seem to anyways. And yeah, I think he's going to end up either knocking Brunson out or get a decision over him, because they can both go 5 rounds. But I don't, Till's takedown defense is really good. I don't think Brunson's going to be able to get him down. And if he does, I don't think he's going to be able to hold him down.
No, absolutely. And I certainly can't blame you for that prediction, man. Till is very good. He's probably one of my favorite new age guys just to hear talk. He's still funny as hell.
He's just still yet to live up to his potential.
No, yeah. I mean, fun fact actually about the Woodley and Till fight. They had spent like over $8 million advertising for Till in Europe and shit, because they truly wholeheartedly believed that he was going to be the next champion. And it really backfired. And I, probably pissed Dana White off quite a bit about it all.
Oh, I know he wanted Till to win that fight against Woodley.
Oh, absolutely. He didn't even it was the only fight he's ever not showed up to put the belt around the champ. He said it's some bullshit excuse, but we all know the reason why he was not happy.
Yeah.
But definitely a main event I'm really excited for. I think the card overall is going to be another sleeper, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I appreciate you for coming on, Justice. If any of y'all like the video, like and subscribe. Help us grow the channel. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon, Justice. Thank you.
Take it easy, man. Get to work.
Yes, sir.